Hello, Chicago Bears fans. Welcome to the Bears Den podcast. Come on in and join us, please. I am Andy. I'm joined by Chicago Clarence. I'm joined by Todd. So if you're watching us right now, feel free to send us comments and feel free to show us some love. Follow us, like us, subscribe to us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. And if you live in Charlotte, please feel free to join us this Sunday versus the Commanders at Max Speed Shop. Concord Mills Boulevard, right by the Concord Mills Mall. If you know where the Concord Mills Mall is, you cannot miss it. So, guys, this Sunday, we play the Washington Commanders. Chicago Clarence, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, this game has lost some of its luster since
Yes.
it's coming down that Daniels might not play. It was going to be a chance for the number 1 overall pick to go against the number 2 overall pick. That's the reason why the game got moved from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had two teams with winning records going at it. So our mission has not changed, though. This is a game that we absolutely need to win. It's an NFC game. We keep talking about playoffs, and if we want to make the playoffs, this is a game that we have got to have. So my mindset is next man up. The same thing that we have to go through. We've had our share of injuries too. So my mindset is next man up and let's go.
So, guys, if playoffs started today, we are officially in, and this is a playoff game. Ironically, we would be the number 7 seed, and we would be playing in Washington against the Commanders, and they would be the number 2 seed. So, Todd, could we be watching a playoff game? Unfortunately, Daniels is trending towards not playing, is the reports that he's not going to play. He has not practiced all week. It looks like he's going to be a no-go, which is a shame. But, Todd, could we be watching a possible playoff game already?
Well,
or a possible preview?
A preview if Daniels had played. Mariota looked good against the Panthers, but that was the Panthers.
Yes.
So gotta have to discount that. But I don't know. I think that they kind of just going over their schedule and what they've done. They're kind of in the same boat as us. As
yes,
who have you beat, and when you face a good team, what's happened. So I don't know. I'm if he misses any real time, they could be in jeopardy of not making the playoffs.
All right, so we have a guest. This is one of Chicago Clarence's co-workers. So I'll let Chicago Clarence bring him on the stage and introduce him.
What's going on, man?
What's good?
Man, listen, this guy, we actually are not co-workers, but we're mutual friends. Our daughters are on the same cheerleading squad. So we see each other at a lot of the school events with our daughters. Our daughters are best friends. So this is my guy, LeVar. Unfortunately, he's a Washington Commander fan, but hey, man, can't be perfect.
No.
I love you to go through this, right? Good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you for coming on to represent your team. We appreciate that. We are a relatively new show, as you already know. We've talked about this at the cheerleading meetings and whatnot. And this week we get to beat up on your team, quarterback or not, and you get to stand in the spotlight and tell us why we're wrong, if you can.
So LeVar, let me ask you. There's a lot of this stuff going around that we got the wrong quarterback. You got the wrong quarterback. You're a Washington fan. Are you happy with Daniels, or would you rather have gotten Williams somehow?
I'm ecstatic with Daniels, the only quarterback I wanted throughout the draft. I was just praying, being that we knew you guys were going to take Williams. I was praying that at the 12th hour, you guys didn't flip. And then we didn't fall in love with Drake May just because of the smoke screens that were being sent about the organization liking Drake May and whatnot. So, I think Drake May will be a good quarterback. I think of all three of them are going to be, head of the class of their class and, be top tier quarterbacks. But I think Daniels is the most pro ready. I think Daniels is the best out of all of them, based on what I've seen from watching college football. I don't know why the pundits always put so much in Alabama quarterbacks, or then they just flip off and just find somebody they fall in love with that came from a lower school, when they try to sell us that the SEC is the best thing since smoked bread in every single year, but they don't take SEC quarterbacks seriously. So, and just watching what he did from Arizona State to LSU, I was convinced.
So, Todd, Chicago Clarence, I'll let you answer. Would you rather, which quarterback would you rather of us taking? Because there's a lot of people saying we should have taken Daniels instead of Williams, and vice versa. Are you guys happy with what we did? Would you go backwards and take Daniels over Williams? Are you happy with what we did? I'm ecstatic. I would not change a thing myself personally, but I'll let you two answer.
Well, for me, this is the thing for me, and I know you guys will probably agree with this. For us, it's not necessarily the quarterback in this case. It's our coaching. And, we've talked about it ad nauseum on how I feel we failed Justin Fields. Now, when you go back, when you rewind to the beginning of this season, all of us on here was critiquing and complaining about the coaching, particularly the offensive coordinator, and how he was doing a miserable job with personnel groupings, play calling, the offensive line, which is under him, didn't look prepared. And I don't care what quarterback you got. If you got a quarterback behind a suspect offensive line, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to run for his life, and if you don't get him hurt. So for me, now you're starting to see Williams be able to trust his protection, particularly in the Jacksonville game. He stood in that pocket and he held that ball a lot and waited for routes to come open, and he made throws. He didn't do that week 1 and 2 because he couldn't. So he's going to materialize as Shane Waldron gets more and more comfortable calling plays, particularly calling plays that utilize his skill set. And one of the things we were talking about is lining him up under center versus putting him in a shotgun all the time. So I think that as Shane Waldron grows, you'll be able to see more and more Caleb Williams' talent. Now, we've been in the junior varsity for the first 6 weeks.
Yes.
5 weeks, should I say.
Yes.
It's about to get real now. It's got to get real. We're going to look at some better defenses coming up. Not this Sunday, because, we're going to walk the dog with Washington. But, when we have to go against Green Bay, when we got to go against Detroit and them defenses, it's going to be time for us to see what we got back there.
Todd, would you have taken Daniels over Williams, or are you happy with what we got?
We were always going to take Williams. It was
yes,
never,
I agree with that.
Never really thought. And I know we don't know each other. I don't take this the wrong way, but I look at Jaden Daniels and his his ability to run is amazing, and he throws a pretty ball. But I see him, and he just has little ankles and small legs, and it kind of looks like RG3 to me, man.
Look, as much as we've been through, that is always on our mind, right? And now, he having a rib injury. It wasn't as much as his size as his recklessness. In college, he just, he felt they couldn't hurt him. And, we didn't want to see him do an RG3 feeling invincible and get destroyed by, a big linebacker or a big D tackle, and have that done. But we know our offensive line coming into the season wasn't perceived as great. Now they've gelled greatly. And as that guy in the top right corner keeps saying, our defense isn't particularly great, but we knew that, and we're achieving despite that. But they've adjusted the scheme. We're getting pressure now, which is desperately needed, especially when we cleaned house and sent y'all our best pass rusher and Montez Sweat.
Thank you for that.
I commend. Well, look, I commend
you for that. By the
right?
way,
I mean, we
Thank
had
you.
no choice.
No, I
We weren't
agree.
we weren't going to be able to pay him. We weren't going to be able to give him the 100 million that we were trying to say he wasn't worth. But we knew deep down he had a potential to be that. But it's no way we'd have been able to afford that with all the holes we got. So, again, we're happy where we are. Jaden appears small, but he's still 6'4" and some change, and he's still 2 and some change. So I looked at it as looking at Lamar. Lamar is, I think, an inch and a half shorter and about the same weight. So it's not so much. And with all the flag football protections that quarterbacks get, I felt that he'll be okay despite a freak injury. So
I
his
mean,
quick release and Kingsbury, not going. He's gonna have everything new for at least the first year because nobody's gonna have tape on him. So I felt that would buy him some time, and worst case scenario, he'll put on 10, 15 pounds next year. So we're gonna do what we gonna do. Get rid of the ball, run the ball, which you guys can't stop either. So it's
Can't.
gonna be whoever runs the ball the best, and that's what
yeah,
we're gonna do.
as far as the pick, you
Our-
had to do it. He was the right pick. It's a little scary. Same, I think what RG3 went second, so it's just like this whole repeat thing, and it's just like
Oh
man,
look, it's terrifying. It is terrifying. So it's terrifying, and the only thing we can rest on is we have a competent front office. We got an owner that looks like he's invested, and he's gonna stay out and be professional in it. We're winning. We don't have the worst owner in the league anymore. You don't understand how better that is, and we're
he's in
stuck in a
Charlotte.
division with the worst fans ever. Come on, man.
The
Come on,
worst
man.
owner in the league. It might be in Charlotte, but anyway, I'm glad you brought up defenses because I mean, overall we're 5th. You guys are 16th, which is middle of the pack. Against the rush, you guys are 18th. We're 11th. Against the pass, you guys are 12th. We are 7th. In scoring defense, we're 4th, and you guys are 15th. So your defense is a little better than I thought. It's above half for every single thing. I mean, we're in the top 11 for every single thing. So your defense is actually better than I thought it was before I looked it up today.
Man, it's better than I thought it was going to be too.
But just for the record, I think the worst owner lives here in Charlotte. I could be wrong.
Unfortunately, yes, he does. And I think it's because, I think he has a little Mark Cuban in him in regards to the fact of, he feels smarter than the rest and he's going to do it this way. I've succeeded in everything that I've done. And, I think it's more of an entitled. His antics are definitely don't look well, but he still appears to be a smart businessman. I'm just hoping they go ahead and do a fire sale. We'll take JC Horn up off of him for a decent little pick. They can package Johnson in too. We'll take both of them for a third, a third and a sixth. We'll take that away from them. But our biggest advantage, I thought we were going to be able to get Landry. But I think Detroit's gonna swing in and drop whatever they want because they're trying to win right now. So, we need a pass rusher. I mean, we knew that. We swung and missed on Chase. So, he's got all the talent in the world, but he's just lazy. I've never seen someone give up so fast on so many plays that we missed on that. But I think everybody would have missed on that. So
Chicago Clearance right now, I downloaded this right before we went on. ESPN has us at 3-point favorites. We opened at 1.5. We're 3-point favorites now because, again, Daniels is not expected to play. But pretty much by voting, it's 50-50. I mean, they have us right down the middle. Chicago Clearance, what do you say to us being the favorites? And we should beat this team with Mariota at quarterback, should we not?
I mean, this is one of those times where we were talking about the previous weeks to where we playing a team that has issues and we should exploit them. I mean, their strengths are our strengths. You want to line up your wide receivers against our secondary by all means. We got to find out if they're going to be there But I would take our secondary against any wide receiver corps in the NFL. No wide receiver unit scares me
And
when we have those guys. But we got Brisker and Gordon not practicing,
and that's the most current injury report. But go keep
know,
going.
Tyreek Stevenson is limited. That's going to be good. But the key is Brisker to me, because he is the guy that we can bring down in the box to help us stop the run. And Washington doesn't have a prayer if they don't run the ball. Plain and simple. We have got to shut down the run. We was going to have to do that if Daniels was playing. But we know Mariota is not the most accurate quarterback out there. I mean, he's on the bench for a reason. He's been in the league for a while. He started out as a starter, but he's since found his niche as a bench rider, because that's what he is. So the fact that you've got to bring him in the game against this defense does not bode well for Washington. We should absolutely walk the dog with this team, plain and simple. And as Todd told you, he don't mean no disrespect. I do. I mean it. We should destroy y'all.
Clarence always means disrespect.
I mean it. We should absolutely embarrass this team. And Montez Sweat is coming back to Washington. You don't think he wants to have a big game? You don't think he wants to get Mariota's jersey dirty? Promise you he does. Y'all gonna feel it Sunday. I promise you, you're gonna feel it with Daniels was in there, because Williams has heard the talk. I guarantee you got Daniels upset that he's not going to be able to play. Right behind him is Williams, because he's been listening to this talk about being the wrong guy for all these weeks. That guy reads the press clippings. I love the way that he comes out to compete. If he was a bowler, he could be on my team, because that's the kind of person I want.
No.
He can destroy
Y'all
you.
think y'all nailed together then.
I disagree with that. If you see Clarence bowl, there's nobody good enough for his team. Believe me and Clarence cannot bowl together, because he would end our friendship. Trust me.
You don't know how to bowl. That's why you couldn't be on the
Todd,
team.
could you be on Clarence's bowling team? Todd, could you be on Clarence's bowling team?
No, but I can't. But I'm a terrible bowler. Yeah, I wouldn't make it through 3 frames and he throw me off.
That's why. And I hold tryout, so you just can't just get on the team. I actually got to come out and watch and see what you got first.
I wouldn't even show up, dude. It would be that bad.
Never gonna happen.
So Todd, it's interesting because we get clowned all the time that we have not beat anybody with a winning record. You look at Washington; they have not beat anybody with a winning record. They lost to Buccaneers. They beat the Giants. They beat the Bengals, beat the Cardinals, beat the Browns, which is not saying a lot given the state of that team.
Well, that's a good defense, though. You got to give them some love on that.
They lost to the Ravens.
That's a good defense.
They lost to the Ravens, and they beat the Panthers.
Yeah, they scored 34 on Cleveland. That's impressive.
So this team's in the same boat as us. We really don't know how good they are.
But you play the schedule you get.
Yes, you do. And just so you guys know, we are in the toughest division in football right now. That is our division, 19-6. And like I said, if the playoffs started today, all of us are in the NFC North. That's hard to believe. Every team in the NFC North is in the playoffs right now.
That would be historic.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, that's historic. I mean, but this is the thing for us. We just have to keep our eyes on the road ahead of us.
Yes.
We still have not played a single division game yet.
No, we have
so
not.
a lot has got to be said. And as I said before, we got to win this game.
Yeah,
because if we go into Washington and they don't have their starting quarterback and we lose this game, then we lose any kind of credence that we want to bring that we are a legitimate football team. Plain and simple. All jokes aside, anytime you play a team that does not have their starting quarterback, you have got to handle your business. And if you got the credentials that you want to be a playoff team, this is the time to make your mantra. You got to go out there and show it. I mean, I wanted to see Daniels against Williams. We're not going to get to see that. Maybe if we handle our business, they handle their business, we can duke it out in the playoffs. But for right now, they're in our way. We're on the road to redemption because we have been a raggedy team, a raggedy organization for decades.
Yeah.
And we want some respectability.
Yes.
This is a team that we gotta handle if we want to get some respect around here.
So let me ask you guys: if we beat this team with their second string quarterback, are we going to be respected, or is it going to be, well, you beat a winning team, but they had a second string quarterback, so you still haven't beat anybody yet?
Yeah, we're going to hear that, but I tell you what, that's not as bad as if we lost to them.
Yeah,
Sure.
It would be worse. Yeah. So you forget about all of that, and you just go out there and you handle your business, and you beat them like you're supposed to. I'm not talking about no last freaking second field goal. I'm talking about beating them by double digits.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
Look at LeVar.
Double digits.
LeVar's head is going. His head's going left to right, Clarence. It's not going up.
Because you know what LeVar. I'm gonna tell you what LeVar problem is. Washington runs deep in his core. So he's been sitting here looking at this. He's been watching the press clippings every week. See, me and him talked before the season even started. He didn't know what he was getting, just like I didn't know what we was getting in quarterback. So now that Daniels has given him a little bit of light, now he wants to walk around with gasoline draws on, because he wants to be on fire for this team. And I'm trying to tell him it ain't his time yet. We're a better football team across the board. You put our roster up against their roster, we're a better football team. Your coach, he's doing a turnaround with the team, but he got fired for a reason.
Yes.
Because he wasn't getting the job done. And now you're the leader in a weak division. I mean, you got the Philadelphia Eagles who look suspect. You got the Giants who are trash, the Cowboys who are trash. If we was in that division, we'd be in first place. So come on. I mean,
you be in second again.
You play because you haven't had your bye yet. That's the only reason. But we will be playing for first place Sunday, and you'll be 5-3 at around about 8:30, 9 o'clock Sunday night. You're gonna be 5-3, and you be in second place.
We gonna see. Right?
I mean, I tell you,
all we need our defense to step up. That's it. Yes. On paper, y'all are the better team. On the field, that's a little different.
LeVar,
well, listen. Hold on. Before you ask him, let me just tell him this. Plain as
the fuse is lit.
We know we got election time going on right now, but when we get to Washington, we're gonna be the commander in chief. We're gonna push y'all around that field like we own y'all. That's what's about to happen to you. So you might as well get used to that idea. Your asses are going to get whooped.
I'll let you respond, LeVar, if you want to, but I did have a question.
At no point will this be a landslide. Even with Mariota playing, it's still gonna be a close game. You guys are not jailed that much, and your coaching staff is not that good.
The electoral vote doesn't matter in football, buddy. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to count, but all we're gonna have to do is shut your run game down. You want to tell me that you want to put your hopes on winning this football game on Mariota's arm?
Absolutely not.
Saying that.
You got to stop the running game. You haven't stopped the running game all year.
We're in the top 10 in the NFL doing that. What are you talking about?
What running game have you faced?
What's your running back's name anyway? Do you even know what I have to look at the roster?
Of them. We got Eckler and Robinson. Robinson gonna be the one that's gonna give you problems.
Eckler don't even start. He's a has-been. And if you pop him good enough, he's on IR for 4 or 5 weeks. He's injury prone.
And Robinson, that's why he doesn't start. He's our third down back. It's all right.
Okay. On third down, I hope he don't bring his buddy in there trying to run up on that defense. Have you seen our linebackers?
No.
You're gonna get introduced to him real good on Sunday afternoon.
They don't show up.
Listen. This ain't the Cowboys you talking to, man. Where y'all have the rivalry and those tend to be close games. No, your layaway ticket is about to get stamped. You got an ass whipping on layaway. You've had it on their favor since the schedules come out. We mark this down as a W. I'd be damned if I'm gonna be wrong. We beating y'all. Beating y'all.
Okay.
And you're welcome to come back on the show next week and tell me how I was right, because I usually am. So you're welcome to come back on next week and get on and sing the praises of me being right and telling you what was going to happen to your team and it coming to fruition.
This isn't bowling, but because Daniel's not playing. I don't have enough ammo to say enough. And then on top of that, Coleman, our rookie tackle, he may not play either. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
Let me bring up your injury report. Todd
Brandon Coleman, because of
Todd,
that
just
Yeah,
for
discussion.
the record,
If he doesn't clear protocol, that's a problem. You know,
Already guys were highly regarded on PFF, and so is Biotish. I mean, that's 3 offensive linemen, and
yeah,
we put Jalen Johnson on McLaurin and shut him down. This is going to be a stack the box kind of game.
That's what I was just trying to say. The key for us, if Briscoe plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or even Gordon at nickel shuts down the run too.
And build those relationships, learning how to trust.
So Todd, just for
Yes,
record,
sir.
Todd, maybe bringing someone from an opposing team on was a bad idea.
Nah. No.
But no, let me ask you something, LeVar.
I'll be the jinx. Yeah, there we go.
Let me ask you something. Dan Quinn. What do you think of Dan Quinn? Because as Clarence said, he was fired from the Falcons, but he did get them to the Super Bowl. He was on our list of candidates before we settled on Eberflus, and we all said no to Quinn. We all said no to Eberflus. But what do you? And we're not going to get into that, but because somebody else wanted Harbaugh, and I did too. But what do you think of Dan Quinn and what he's done this year? Has he done a good job? Okay, great job. What do you think of him?
I think he's done an amazing job. Honestly, did I want the hot candidate Ben Johnson at first? I did. I wanted Ben Johnson at first until the reports came out about how he handled the situation. I didn't want that. Once he came out and said that he didn't feel confident about it or something, it just whatever excuse he came up with, I was good with that. I knew Dan Quinn would be, we coming from Rivera, man.
Yeah.
So Rivera is more of a culture person, and we appreciate him reestablishing a decent culture. But as far as coaching wise, him and Del Rio, the game has passed them by. I hope that they would have done a little something better with the defense, but they didn't. They had no resemblance left of Carolina. So coming from that, I knew Dan Quinn was a severe upgrade from them. I mean, I saw what he did with Dallas in the division.
Yeah.
As far as the Falcons, he got them to the Super Bowl, but Kyle messed that up. And
he should have ran the ball.
Now granted, Kyle and McVay should have never been let out of the building. It's like 4 coaches that are head coaches now successfully that should have never made it out of Washington. That's the biggest mistake we've made. But I rock with Quinn, and more importantly, I rock with Peters. So I like what Quinn did. He moved more to head coach and off the D coordinator. Joe Witt's now running the system, and that's working, especially as they try to course correct and not run it like a third-year defense. They're installing first-year things and letting them play. So we're playing fast. You guys are getting introduced to Louisville on Sunday. So yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, I like Dan Quinn. I think it was a great hire for us.
So Todd, let me ask you: if Jane Daniels would have played, Jane Daniels versus Caleb Williams, are one of these two guys going to be Rookie of the Year?
Well, Daniels came out of the gate hot, so I mean it's his to lose. But if he misses 2 or 3 games, it will be his to lose then because the numbers will change. But I want to, from an old Bear guy, I got to give Rivera some love. He had to deal with Dan Snyder, man. Both of those guys you talked about did, and that's a problem. And you got to be good all the way from the top down. So, but
and he had to deal with Tepper here in Charlotte. He did get the Panthers to a Super Bowl, but then Tepper bought the team, and that's another podcast. But so do you think we're watching? If Daniels would have played, do you think we would be watching Rookie of the Year, watching the future Rookie of the Year playing one of the two?
Absolutely.
Clarence, do you think we would be watching Rookie of the Year, one of the two, if Jane Daniels would be playing?
It's quite possible. I think that what would have settled it is which team was going to make it to the playoffs with that guy running the offense. To answer your question, the previous one you just gave about Dan Quinn, the smartest thing he did was getting Cliff Kingsbury in there to run the offense. That's the guy that I wanted. No matter who the head coach was going to be.
Hired him too.
We could have hired Cliff Kingsbury. That's the guy. I mean, and like I said before, I'm trying to be positive about the Bears.
Yeah.
Even though I still have my trepidations about some of the stupid shit we do or some of the stuff we don't do, and that's one of the things, Cliff Kingsbury was right there, and we don't even talk to him. We go and we get Shane Waldron because we settled on him early in the game and didn't even really pivot off of him. We talked to other people who had been in coaching for years and out of coaches sitting at home, planting gardens and whatnot, and we want to bring him into the building to do interviews. I mean, that's the kind of stuff Chicago Bears do. But whatever, this is a happy time. I'm not gonna go there, but I'm gonna give Dan Quinn his props because I think that was a terrific hire. And you're seeing that's the reason why he came out and started out so hot, and Caleb Williams didn't, because he had an offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing. He knows how to attack defenses. He knows how to use personnel groupings. He knows how to do play calls. Something Shane Waldron seems to be learning on the job. Whatever. He better not lose this game on Sunday, though. Anyway. Somebody has got to cash the checks I've been writing. You know what I mean? You better not lose this game, Shane Waldron.
It seems like, regardless of what Quinn does, with the offense excelling and the defense being questionable, I think Kingsbury's going to get the credit for this and probably get a second job in the NFL from it. So,
yeah.
Hopefully,
but to y'all point, real quick, you see what happens in the NFL when you don't have a quarterback? Because Ron Rivera, to me, is not that bad of a football coach. I love the guy.
Yeah.
He's on the 85 Bears, for God's sake.
Yeah.
The guy knows defense. But when you don't have a quarterback, just look.
You got to have a quarterback.
You have Cam Newton. You take Cam Newton away, he ain't done nothing since. Why?
Right.
Because he ain't had a quarterback. Right. And he wanted to throw a friend of his a bone, man, listen, the defensive coordinator, the dude knew what he was doing. And LeVar made a good point. Maybe the game has passed him by. I don't know, because he had some players on that defense.
He missed on every pick he chose. He's a linebacker, and he missed on it. He picked Forbes when Gonzalez was sitting right there. He missed on everybody. He can't manage timeout. He can't manage challenges. We got the same problem here in Chicago.
What are we talking about now?
Yeah, we got the same problem.
Timeouts, can't manage.
Yeah,
replays.
He can't manage press conferences.
Okay, what coach are we talking about again?
He can come in and manage your culture. That's it. And he's got the culture part down right. But as far as the X's and O's and the execution of game day thing, nah.
But he's got a Super Bowl on his resume with a proven quarterback. He hasn't had that since then. You said they gave him Sam Howell, and I liked Sam Howell, but Sam Howell is probably a backup quarterback in this league.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a starter.
But Sam Howell was given a raw deal. One, he didn't even know about Sam Howell when he was when he was practicing all year. The other quarterback had to tell him, "Nah, give Howell a chance. He been putting in work in practice." He couldn't even identify that, and you're at practice every day. It took your backup quarterback to say no, to say get a guy a chance.
So suffice to say, you're happy with Dan Quinn. Things are going well for you in this division. Hopefully, for your sake, your quarterback's not going to miss too many games, because that could help decide the division for you. Because Philadelphia I mean, albeit against the Giants, they look like they may be trying to get their stuff right and get their ship right. They got the wide receivers coming back healthy, and that stuff matters because you got to have somebody to throw the ball to. At the end of the day, though, for me, I always say what I say every week. The keys to a football game is you got to be able to run the ball and stop the run. To me, I don't care who's quarterbacking, who's coaching. That's how you win football games. Your ability to run the ball, to extend drives, and your ability to stop the run to cancel drives out. And we've got one hell of a weapon in our punter. I mean, that dude deserves some love because he flips the field for us.
Yes.
Whenever we have a bad drive and that Shane Waldron is, susceptible to make, but that guy gets the ball back on the other side of the 50 and we run our defense back out there and we make plays. So I think those are the keys to the game.
Yeah, I agree. Todd, what are your keys to this game?
Yeah, the stopping Robinson. I think that, the depth chart at receiver is pretty underwhelming. I mean, you got reported, you got a bunch of no-name guys, really. I mean, Noah Brown, I guess.
LeVar disagrees. He's laughing.
Our secondary is the best secondary in the NFL. So, and you've got old man Marcus Mariota throwing the ball. We can stack this box. I mean, we don't have to. We can run a base defense. We don't have to bring in a nickel to stop your receivers.
Todd, we can be three secondaries short. I mean, we can be three guys short.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If Brisker,
so
if
he's bringing that up,
he'll be in, and and Stevenson.
Kyler Gordon. I don't think Kyler Gordon's going to play. I think the hamstring might be worse than what we know. I really don't expect Gordon to play. Brisker, I expect to get out of, and then Stevenson.
We're 4 or 5 solid at corner, man. I mean, I'm not worried about any of those guys. So,
and Terrell Smith.
I think Zach Ertz. I mean, I'm not impressed with your pass catchers, but your offensive line has turned out to be pretty solid. But those guys are banged up, so I mean, I don't know. It's your building, so that ought to be worth 3 points, but.
Wow, listen to Todd.
I think, I don't know, 31, 16, 17, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, well, 17's been our limit for 11 straight games, so they ain't getting over 17 points.
Hey, Buck always says 37-17 Bears. 37-17 Bears. So, Buck, if you're watching this game on your score.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, guys, trade deadline. Chicago Clarence, let's start with you. Would you make any trades for this team? I mean, everybody else seems to be making trades. Would you?
I mean,
do you think we need to make a move? I mean, to me, I think the main question is, I know you love edge. If you go after one edge player, is that good enough to get us to a Super Bowl? I think we need more than edge.
Whether you say we should make a move or not depends on what your thought process is of this season. Was this just another step into being a team that can compete for the Super Bowl year in and year out, or are you trying to win this year? And if you're not trying to win this year, then I got a few questions for you on why you brought in some people. Naming Keenan Allen. What did you trade for him for if he wasn't trying to win this year? But hey, what do I know? But if it's me, I try to strengthen our weaknesses. And we got 2 glaring ones, offensive line and defensive line.
Yeah.
And as we say, all jokes aside, the uptick in who teams that we about to play is coming.
Yes.
We're going to have to deal with Goff twice. We're going to have to deal with Minnesota twice. We're going to have to deal with the team we can't seem to beat, the Green Bay Packers, twice. Right. We got to have another guy who has the ability to get the quarterback on the ground. We don't have that right now. And let's not get fat, dumb, and happy on 4-2 record based off bad football teams. If we don't do something about our ability to speed the quarterback up, we're going to be sitting at home playoff time. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you want to talk about the offensive line. and the weaknesses there. We've been saying it for years. Braxton Jones is not a left tackle. If you can give me the ability without selling the farm to go in there and upgrade at that position, sign me up for it. Because our quarterback is not going to be sustainable with Braxton Jones as the left tackle. Thank God, Hutchinson got hurt. Could you imagine him going against Braxton Jones?
Yeah, he did him alive.
Yeah, just the teams don't give up. I mean, it's
I
more
don't-
like
We would
it's
get
more
an
like
edge.
that a team gives up an elite edge as opposed to giving up even a decent offensive
Yeah,
lineman.
those are
They're just
hard,
to get.
hard
You know, I
to
mean,
come by.
I mean, I
Offensive
think there's a
lineman.
better chance of the Raiders throwing in the towel and making the big trade. Or I don't know that Cleveland will. I don't know that Garrett's really.
Cleveland has
nailed.
lost it, but Todd, let me stop you there. Cleveland has lost 6 games now. They franchise quarterback, whether you like him or not, has got a $230 million guaranteed contract. You ain't getting out from under that. You stuck with
No.
that. Why am then? If you got to know, you got to press the reset button. The only way you can do that is with the assets that you have on defense. That's Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
You're going nowhere fast. You are bleeding money with Deshaun Watson there. No matter what you do with Myles Garrett, you got to figure your quarterback problem out, because that's $230 million sitting up there with a busted leg right now. And he ain't playing until half the season is going next year. That's how bad you are. You have got to tear that team down and start replenishing it and rebuilding it, and you got to do it now. The only person you're going to be able to do that with is Myles Garrett, because nobody is trading for the running back. Nobody,
No.
you don't have any wide receivers anybody want. You got rid of Cooper. So the only asset you got is Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a couple run-stopping defensive tackles, but I mean, you're getting like a 6th-round pick for those guys. I mean, so. Would you rather have Garrett than Max Crosby, or would you rather?
Now,
Crosby?
I haven't looked at salaries, but Cap and Jay Hood had that discussion, and they said Garrett will not fit under our salary cap. So he must earn more.
The Crosby
than
money.
we
Yeah,
got
he's been paid.
Crosby
Crosby is the guy.
We can
Crosby's
pull the
guy.
trigger on Garrett.
You still got to pay Crosby though.
So
You
gotta
have
pay
to
Crosby.
you have to pay Crosby, but the thing that we got going for us is we got 4 years before we're going to have to pay Caleb Williams.
Yes.
4.
Yeah.
You need to make your Super Bowl run within
Now.
these 4 years. Right now. You cannot wait, because you've already paid Sweat. You've already paid DJ Moore. You know, that's the reason why you ain't gave Keenan Allen no money, who wants another contract. There ain't another person on this team that you're going to have to pay other than Darnell Wright before you got to deal with Caleb Williams. So what are we waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
If there's somebody out there that can help take us the next step to get to a Super Bowl, then you make that move. I don't give a damn about 1st and 2nd round picks. You got multiple 2nd round picks now. But what are we going to hold on to them for?
I mean, I keep hearing a 1 and a 3, and if they'll do that, I'll do that all day long.
A 1 and a 3?
Make that money work. I mean, Crosby he makes 22. You'll have to do an extension with him to get him up over 30, but he's right now on the books. He's 22, and that we can fit that in.
So guys, we pull the trigger. We trade for Max Crosby. Our 1 and 3 is gone. How do we rebuild this offensive line? Because we will have 4 guys, not under 5.
We
Nate
have 2
Daniels is
second-round
going to
picks.
walk, but Nate Daniels is going to walk. We're cutting him. The center's
They're
only on a
supposedly-
1-year deal. Pryor's on a 1-year deal. Tevin Jenkins is on a 1-year deal. So we start giving up draft capital. How are we rebuilding this offensive line? Because we have a major job in the offseason with this offensive line.
You got
We
free
have-
agency. You got free agency
Yeah.
number 1.
And
Number
you
2,
always overpay in free agency.
you're going no matter
Yeah.
what, you're going to overpay in free agency, but it depends on if it's going to be a left tackle. I'm not overpaying for either a left tackle or a center, one
Yeah.
of the two. But it would be a left tackle. You draft your center. Then you got your left guard, you re-sign Pryor, but you let Tevin Jenkins go. You know why? Because he's never available. He's always hurt. So we let him go.
He's gone. Mhm.
Nate, he's got to draft at 8:00. So
Hey,
we know you got to go, brother, at 8:00. But listen, we appreciate you coming on and taking these lumps, and we'll give you a couple more on Sunday, bro.
Hey,
Well,
look,
LeVar, I'll let you say whatever you want to for the last minute. Then just sign out. Go ahead, say whatever
Okay.
you want to about the
That-
game.
That'll work. Hey, first and foremost, man, congratulations to each and every one of you. Love the podcast, even not being a Bears fan. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Please keep it up. Keep
Thank you.
trucking. You know, I see big things in the future for you. Especially, you know, throwing haymakers the way Mr. Clarence is.
That guy, Chicago Clarence.
Uh, we look forward to a good game. Hopefully, a close game on Sunday where you guys take this devastating loss. But after Sunday, the best thing I can say
Wow.
for you guys is I would, if I was you, root for us to get a pass rusher because if we don't get him, he's going to Detroit, and that's the last thing y'all
Yeah.
need is for them to not only replace Hutchinson this year, but give him a running mate for the years coming. That's not going to be good.
You
But
that's right. But before you go, man, tell them about your charity, man. Tell them about Fathers United. Tell the people who's listening about your charity, please.
okay, Father, thank you. Fathers United is a 501c3 organization for fathers. What we do is we help fathers in all cases. It started with me fighting for custody of my daughter, which I successfully won. So we help any father that's been alienated or wanting to improve his custody situation. We have proven and effective strategies and techniques that help those that have the ability and confidence to represent themselves. We help in all areas of fatherhood because it's no plan and no blueprint for fathers. So we help fellowship, we help confidence men that need help in connecting with their fathers. Professional fathers who need help connecting with their kids. Different strategies, everything fatherhood. We just as men, we don't have enough resources and positive reinforcement for us. And we're just trying to do our part as a collection of dedicated fathers to help each other in all facets and all phases. So the website is www.fathersunitedinc.org, based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We help anybody all over. We've helped 87 fathers at this point improve their custody, either getting from no custody to joint custody or from joint custody to primary custody. So, as a proud girl dad and cheer dad, I'm just here to help as many fathers as possible because fathers are very important in kids' lives because every statistic exponentially positively raises when a father is active. Less dropouts,
Mm-hmm.
more graduation, less obesity, less drug use, less crime, more college degrees. It's just everything. Fathers are awesome and we don't say it as much and we need to get back to, male led homes and nuclear families and just being the best that we can be. We get credit for being sports dads, but we don't get the credit for being active dads outside of the sports field.
Well, man, appreciate all that you do, man. That is a worthwhile organization coming from one
Yes.
father to another. So appreciate the work you do, man. And I know it's people out there who absolutely need to know about the work that you do. Hopefully they heard about it on this podcast, man. But once again, bro, anytime you want to come on and share some love with us, man, you're more than welcome. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Look forward to coming back.
Thank you,
All
Good
right.
luck
sir.
to y'all on Sunday, man. No matter what happens.
Thank you,
All
We'll
sir.
right.
be,
Yeah.
we'll be back on. Yeah,
Thank
take
you.
care.
So, guys, let me put this up here. I just want to do a little something fun.
Mm.
Last time, I didn't tell you I was going to do this. Last time these teams sold, this is what they sold for. Can you believe if you would have just invested $100, what kind of return you're going to get on the Chicago Bears one day when you sell them? I mean, I would, damn. Can someone sign me up for that kind of return if you get a return of $6 billion? I mean, $100 George Halas bought our beloved franchise for. $100. Sign me up for that. I want 100 of them to get a return of, I mean, Washington sold for $6 billion in 2023. Ironically, we had the guy from the highest selling team and from a team that's never been sold. In Green Bay, you can't see the tickers ruining them, but Green Bay has never been sold, which is interesting because they're owned by so many shareholders. So I
Right.
guess they can never sell, I guess. I'm not
Community.
100% sure on that one. And number 16 is being cut off by the ticker you now see. So, guys, I already know the answer. All of you would have gladly invested $100, right, to get a return like that.
1920 was serious money, man.
Yeah, $100 back then was serious money. The Giants, that was bought for $500.
Yeah, man.
That's hard to believe. And that shows you how long these teams, those three teams, the last three have been in the families, or except for Green Bay. I mean, even Pittsburgh, 52,000 or no, 2,000. Sign me up for that one. 25,000 for the Chiefs, 25,000 for the Titans. I mean, that's just.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, because as fun as this stuff is, let me just ask you a question, because this stuff right here really annoys me.
Surprise.
What, you wouldn't want to spend $100 to get $6 billion back?
I mean, but listen, what has
ahead.
it gotten us? We still play in the smallest stadium in the whole
Yeah.
NFL.
And we're still the only team that rents. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Pays a
you know,
lease.
and that's the stuff that bothers me.
Mhm.
Because if you can get up the capital to buy a field and it's just sitting there, because we got all these tax situations with the people who run the town, we never got that worked out before we decided to purchase the daggone horse field. You know, what are we doing? What are we? Todd, please tell everybody what happens if Virginia McCaskey, who's 100, how old is Virginia McCaskey now, Andy?
She's 101, is she?
Is she 101 now? Yeah.
She's
If-
over
if-
100.
If you know, God,
Let
you
me
know,
look it
God bless her. But if Virginia McCaskey dies in her sleep tonight, Todd, please tell everybody listening what happens to the Chicago Bears.
That's a big stepped up valuation from $100 to $6 billion. So,
Yes.
so
son.
the
She
tax man
is-
has come calling for that money.
Says she is 101 years old, if you can see my screen.
So
So
The tax-
January 5th should be 102.
So if she dies and she's over 100 years old, she dies. It just don't think like what people think, that she gets to hand the team down to her sons. No,
Right.
they've got a big bill they got to pay
Yeah.
to retain ownership.
Yeah.
Right, and that's usually when teams do get sold. If you
That's
look
why
at
the
that.
Denver Broncos got sold.
Yeah, usually that's what it is. So the estate tax is enormous on because the valuations go from, like, even I think it was like in the mid 80s, the Chargers that were selling for 70 million. I mean, that valuation is just, it's off the charts now, especially, you know, a team based in LA, it's even more. What is that worth, you know? Or even Jerry Jones, that number was,
Yeah.
you know, it was
And
ridiculously
but this is what really bothers me, is the fact that they're not prepared for that. Now, an NFL owner basically prints money.
Yeah.
And when you start talking about licensing fees, when you start talking about TV, when they make ridiculous amount of money for TV, when you start talking about Gate, and why did I bring up Gate? I'll tell you why I brought up Gate. It's simply because we got to pay just for using the freaking football stadium. We got to pay a rental fee. But that all goes into what I'm trying to say. That lady dies, all that money comes due, the team's going to have to be sold.
Mm-hmm.
And with all of that comes as Chicago Bears fans, maybe we'll finally get somebody who in there who knows what the hell they're doing, who can then, you know, rescue us from this nightmare we have as a stadium, because the latest proposals that they have in Chicago, by the way, still keeps us as the smallest stadium in the NFL, might I add,
Which is
with
ridiculous.
a waiting list that's 30 years long. So just think about it, everybody. You got the demand for your product, 30 years long waiting list. And what do? They go and draw up a plan to build a stadium with the smallest seating in the NFL when you've already had that since the inception of the team. That is asinine for anything. And by the way, the team was, the stadium they play in now was remodeled some 25, 30 years ago. They still making payments on it. This is the kind of stuff. I'm not making it up.
I know.
I am not making it up. But this is the kind of stuff. This is the ownership group that leads our team. The stupidity. And then what do they do in the midst of that, of giving us losing season after losing season? They go up on ticket prices.
Yeah, of course.
So you want to go up on ticket prices in the smallest stadium in the league? I mean, it's asinine the way we do business.
Guys, real quick, we have exactly 4 minutes left. So, Chicago Clarence, got anything you want to say in the last 4 minutes?
Well, nothing that I haven't already said before. If you want
Yeah.
to talk about the game Sunday, I mean, I expect us to win the game, and I expect us
So
to
do I.
win the game handily.
So do I.
I mean, you know, that's a team that we go in that we're better than. They don't have their starting quarter. We were better than them if Daniels was playing, but without him, we're really better than them. We should go in there and handle our business.
And I agree with Clarence, and hopefully we take a knee at the end of this game. Todd, real quick, you want to say anything before we sign off?
We have a really nice room at our place there. What's
Max
it called
Speed
again?
Shop.
There you
Max
go.
Speed
Max
Shop,
Speed Shop.
Concord
Yeah,
Mills
nice
Boulevard.
yeah,
We
got
will
a
be there at
private
4 o'clock. Come join us.
I don't have to worry about ticket prices going up. They feed me and everything. So
Yes.
anyway,
And just for the record, Chicago Clarence lost at fantasy football this week, and I won. That's gonna be my final word.
you
I've won 2 straight. I'm on fire, man. I'm 2-5. I'm on
The people
Look out.
who lost to you should be ashamed of themselves.
both of you
Ashamed.
guys beat me. Both of you guys beat me.
He wanted Mike Evans so bad, and he goes and gets hurt.
I know.
Now can't use him.
He went down. I'm like, oh man, I seen that happen. Anyway,
Damn.
But I've got a plan, Andy. Trust me. I don't do anything without having a plan first, brother. Trust me. I've got a plan.
Hey, I'm 2-5 now. I'm coming.
you're coming.
So,
up.
guys, so again, you live in Charlotte, 4 o'clock. Max Speed Shop, come join us. As for Chicago Clarence, please, we have a good time. We're a good group. We won't hurt anybody, even if you root for the opposing team. We just might put you out if you root for the opposing team. But until next time, guys, bear down. See ya.
Fair enough.